A2theK, stories of progress. A2theK, stories of progress.
Hello, one and all. Welcome to Stories of Progress. We're your hosts, A2theK. Joining us today, one of the fastest rising stars in progress, the young gun himself, Ethan Allen. Ethan, thanks so much for being here, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, boys. I'm fucking warm, but I'm all right.
Very warm,
That's it. We're
ridiculously
British.
warm.
We don't know how to handle
Yeah, just a bit warm, ginger. Don't go well.
Bad combination.
So I figured we jump right back to the beginning. And just ask when did you start watching Progress Wrestling, and I suppose what drew you to sort of Progress initially as a fan of it, as a fan
Yeah,
or wrestler, should I say?
yeah. So where I started Future Shot Wrestling, like a few of the guys who were on those shows at the time, like Zach Gibson, James Drake, they were just starting to like break into Progress, and I didn't really have much of an idea what the indies were when I started. Future Shot was my first actual exposure to indies, purely because
Mm.
it was the training school I started at.
Yeah.
But when I actually started seeing progress online and stuff like that, I was like, oh, this looks good. Like this looks different to what I'm used to.
Hmm.
And it's obviously the kind of route I'd be taking before, because I was clued up that like it wasn't just train and then WWE. Like I
Yeah.
knew that then you'd have to work for companies like Future Shop, companies like Progress, GPW, all these like promotions that had run in Manchester. So I went to my first Progress show. I think it was 2016 or 2017. It was Chapter 45. Um,
Mm.
and I went with my dad because I asked to help out on crew and the spots were full. So then at the end of the show, I went and got like Jim Smallman's contact, and then because Matt Richards, who was the commentator at the time, I knew him through Future Shock. So then I managed to get the contact through there, and then from then on, whatever the next show up north was, I just crewed on them for like 2 or 3 years. So yeah, Chapter 45 was my first one that I went to with my dad.
Oh,
That's
I
awesome.
love that. How,
Yeah,
what,
so nine
how did
years.
you, how did your first booking come about? Obviously, with progress, and what was kind of going through your mind when you finally got the call?
Yeah, so my first booking was because like myself and Luke debuted when we was like 16 and we
Hmm.
both looked about 14, 15, especially I looked like really young. So people for a while was like, oh, you're good enough, but we just can't put you on our shows because it just looks like a child is getting beaten up. So for ages we started doing like shows again more up north that was a little bit smaller and a little bit quiet, which was it's where it's bread and butter. It's where you learn how to wrestle, how to work crowd, and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so my first booking, it kind of so I got hurt in March of 2019. A few months prior to that, Jim Smallman was at a Future Shock show and he liked to look at me and Luke, so he just kept his eye. Then I got hurt. Then Luke did a pre-show in Manchester against Sonna Durson in the July of 2019. Fucking obviously knocked out of the park, the pair of them. And then when I come back in October, it was literally like my third match at the Ritz, my third match back after injury, at the Ritz, and we wrestled pretty deadly. So that was literally just we have a spot in the opener. We need a tag team who can just go in, get the job done, get crowd behind everyone, get behind the crowd and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just that was it. It was just it happened, and we did a good job. We never got brought back um, that year, but then we got announced for a show in March of 2020, and then COVID happened. So it was just
Yeah.
starting to get good. We started to create
Yeah.
a buzz, and then COVID happened. So yeah, we only did the one show in the Ritz prior to COVID.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously you mentioned COVID there. I just wondered, obviously during the COVID time, you sort of you went up against your partner, Luke, and I just wondered what it was like wrestling Luke in front of no fans, really. What was that experience?
One of many times I've wrestled Luke, and I've probably beat him.
Fair.
Um, do you know what? It was good. It
Mm.
was just I think because we all knew there was no wrestling happening and Progress was the only company running. So it was our chance as a group, as a core group of wrestlers to go, and show people what we're like, what we're about, instead of going, oh, it's COVID, oh, I've not wrestled in a while. Let's just show people what we're about. Let's get
Yeah,
stuck in. Let's just have a good time as well, especially because it was in a really tough time for a lot of people. So we was
yeah,
also going to the WWE network, and we was like, let's make sure that these shows and these chapters like give people a bit of a break from what's going on outside. So like pretty much every match I had at tapings that I loved, and then obviously the ones with Luke are always special because we have such good, as much chemistry as we do have as a team. Wrestling each other, we also have really good chemistry, and we can just lever each other and just laugh about. Yeah, we just laugh about
that's it. Yeah,
it. But yeah, the ones that progress like were special. Obviously, natural progression sucked a little bit because I wanted to win, but
Yeah,
yeah, it was. Yeah, it's just rewarding, especially on a company you've kind of crewed on. You've done all the crew spots. You've set up the ring. You've set up the chairs. You've seen it all, and then to be kind of the main focus of some shows with my tag partner and best mate, it's rewarding.
yeah,
No matter the
100%. Yeah.
yeah.
Must be a bit surreal as well to go from like you say to be part of the crew and the setup to being like that focal point as
Yeah,
well.
100%. And again, even though there was no one there, like we just got into it ourselves and was like, there's no point in us pretending there's anyone there. So
Yeah,
it allowed us to just focus on each other even more. Because obviously, when you're wrestling in front of a crowd, sometimes it's so easy to get drawn away and get a little bit distracted. But this was literally just, it's me and you, two camera geezers and a ref. I just fucking love it. And that was just our mindset for our tapings with each other and other people. It's just it's a part of time I'm very fortunate to have gone through. Like obviously the unfortunate circumstances of COVID happening, but
yeah,
I'm very fortunate that Progress was able to bring us in and utilize us and help grow our brand in a time where it's just that, wasn't it? It was just
Yeah.
yeah.
us WWE and that was it. Football.
Yeah. So you also tagged with Chris Ridgway for the first time at 106, obviously coming up
Yeah.
short against Lycos Jim. What was the chemistry like between you two as a tag team?
Yeah, good. Me and Chris always had good chemistry again, wrestling each other, teaming with each other. Yeah, it was good. Again, exact same as Luke. Obviously, me and Luke have more chemistry and more of a bond.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, especially like that whole group of us at tapings, like we was all really close as well. So yeah, again, it was just fun. Like I wish I could
yeah,
give you a more in-depth answer, but when
yeah.
people
Just one
ask
of
me about
those.
when people ask me and the boys about tapings, it just goes back to it being fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, of course,
yeah.
yeah.
I love that one.
Obviously, at Chapter 108, you and Luke did pick up the win against Ridgway, who was teaming with Danny Black at the time.
Mhm.
So this was
Very
what, back in
random pairing.
21. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course. Yeah. But
Pairing.
this was, I believe, the quarterfinals to crown a new tag champ as well. So I just wondered, sort of, what did that mean to you personally?
Again, me and Luke set out some goals when we first debuted as a team, and a lot of the main companies around the UK and Europe we were starting to tick off, and obviously those Progress tag belts were on that list.
Yeah,
So to just chip our way through that tournament and obviously get to the final, it was wicked because it was the closest we'd been at that time to something that could have really changed the narrative of our career. I'm not saying like it didn't help our career in any way because even though we lost, like we still put a good showing in and people started to respect us more as wrestlers.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it was nice because again, like the Lycos are good friends of ours, and to have that moment together was just special. And like it's something like we still talk about to this day because like we've not done a tag match together since. Oh no, we've done one actually. Sorry, we've done one just before I got hurt in 2021 or 2022. Can't remember now. But that Progress one was special because again, it was for the belts. It was
yeah,
headlining the show. It was on the WWE network. And again, when not much activity was happening online at the time surrounding wrestling because there wasn't much happening, when everything started coming our way, we was like, shit, we've done something special here.
yeah. No, definitely. Um, So you also followed this time up with a pair of trios wins, first over Lycos Jim and Banks in a like 30-minute classic, and then over Cara Noir and Smoking Aces, where you yourself picked up the win for the team. What are your memories of them two matches, and how do you look back now on Smoking Aces now that they've retired as a team?
The Aces and Cara match was just hilarious. For just so many reasons. It was just wild. There was a lot of times where, like, especially Charlie's just the craziest fucking wrestler. So I'd get done in off him, but then I'd look in the ring and he'd just be flying about or doing something silly. And even though you're in the moment and you're trying to win, you can't help but laugh. So like those matches again were just super fun. The matches with Lycos Jim again and Warren Banks, they were because we was running the story at the time as well, and
Yeah,
especially for Warren as someone who was starting to branch out a little bit more as well as us. It was nice for him to start to get those spotlights as well, and everyone to see how good
yeah,
he was. Um, So again, I wish I could go further. It was just so fun. Like every single match we had, we just come back and was like, that was wicked. Win,
Yeah,
lose, draw, it does not matter. Because it was just a core group of wrestlers who cared about what we was doing, and we was just putting so much effort in because we loved it so much, and we understood that we was a lucky group of wrestlers who got chose to do this. It
yeah.
was like what, 20 of us, 20, 30 of us maybe on a rotation. But yeah, the six mans were always fun because they were just chaos. Like me and Luke never really did a lot of six mans, but when we did, they were just absolute chaos, especially against the
Right.
aces. Because Cara doesn't really show much emotion apart from just being angry. The aces, the aces were just the complete opposite, so over the top, so funny and so entertaining. And obviously now they're not a team. I'm gutted we never got to do the straight up tag.
yeah,
Um, but again, like you can't be sad at things like this. Like Nicky's
Yeah,
living his life, and it was a very well deserved retirement. So yeah, good
yeah,
again. Good memories looking back, and I'll always be grateful for those times.
yeah. Love it.
so moving on to chapter 115, you suffered a loss to Malik via referee. Um, the arrival of Costa seemed to distract you on this one. I just wondered if is there any unfinished business there in your eyes?
Mate, he knocked me out clean. Um, he absolutely sparked me, and I've had to laugh about this to this day because I got backstage and I didn't have a clue, and I wish I was lying about that, but I did not have a clue what was going on. No, I can't lie, I've not seen them in years. I see Mike popping up now and again, and I know a few of the boys are friends with him, but I've got my eyes set on different things, and I mean, if we ended up wrestling, I'm sure we'd have a great scrap. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
Yeah.
But there's no unfinished business. It was just a one and done. So we're
Yeah,
good.
fair.
Yeah, no, fair play. So at 117, obviously you took on Dean Allmark in what was an absolute technical clinic.
Yeah.
Obviously, despite the loss, you appeared to show him, a huge amount of respect both before and after the match. What did that match with Dean mean to you?
It's tied me nuts, mate. He put me in positions I didn't know I could go. Yeah, again, Dino's just like a legend, and
Yeah,
he's wrestled everyone, he's wrestled everywhere. He was one of those guys on taping who was so fortunate to have around for us younger boys to learn off, to wrestle, and to just be around and just see how he conducts himself and handles himself in stressful situations. And again, just like he's one of the few people before you go out, you give each other the nod and you shake hands and you go, "Just have a nice time," instead of wanting to kick each other's head in. Like, obviously, when you get into it and he gives you that first uppercut, you're like, all right, let's fucking have it. But you still just have this respect for these people. Like Doug Williams was the same.
yeah,
Like having these people around just make you not only a better wrestler but a better person as well.
Yeah,
yeah. That's brilliant.
yeah. So in your second match with Spike, it was chapter 119.
Very sharp.
Is what, sorry?
Is this where I was wearing my shorts? I swear he swilled me backstage, and we just
Yeah.
trapped from backstage into the ring, and I was just in my shorts. Yeah, Spike's a dickhead.
Yeah. Well, that's the obviously he attacked your ankle for the win, but then continued to do so after the match. So I just wondered. I think you've answered it to be fair, but
Yeah,
I was going to ask what your thoughts are on Spike.
he's a knob, and he always has been. Those matches were super physical, but
Yeah.
we was doing the segment backstage. He just swilled me. I was like, right, we're going right now. We was meant to wrestle later on. I was like, we are going right now. I don't
Yeah.
care if my shorts on. I'm wrestling small shorts. I can go in my Nikes. Get
That's
out.
it.
And in the scrap.
Brilliant. So obviously the Young Guns, you guys picked up another win at Chapter 120 against Crowley and Elijah. After that match, you got some glowing reviews from both fans and the media alike. For your tag team work in this one. I was curious. Like, do you pay much attention to things like that, like like feedback online and stuff?
Eh, I see it. Sometimes
Yeah.
like I'm not one of them who goes on Cage Match and gets really sad when wrestling fans 631 says you were dead shit and like, yeah, I see it and I appreciate it. Like I had a match this weekend where like everything was like really responsive online.
Yeah.
It's always nice, but like negative and positive, like I see it, I acknowledge it, and I just crack on with my day. I just kind of go on Twitter, I see it, and I go off Twitter. Sometimes I
Yeah.
interact with it, sometimes I don't. It depends kind of like what mood I'm in. Like if fans like slagging me off and I find it funny, I'll just respond with it's something equally as funny.
Yeah.
Some I'm just not in the mood, but I don't let stuff get to my head. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Wrestlers are there to
Yeah.
be loved and hated. Some places I'm hated, some places I'm loved, and that's entirely up to
Yeah.
people's decision to make. If people are being dickheads, then they will get told they are dickheads. And just there's been a few times where like fans have made comments, and I'm like, you can shout what you want, but there's a line, and you've crossed it. So
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
stop or get out.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, for the most part, like just enjoy wrestling, man. And I say this a lot. Like people look into it far too deep for what it is. Like what we do is the best thing on earth. It's so
Yeah.
fun. I want people to get invested because it's so rare. But when people start moaning and being negative, I'm like, just shut up. Like sometimes stuff isn't perfect. I'm sure you've watched an episode of Netflix and gone, that was shit. And that
Yeah.
is a million pound or dollar production. Just let us independent wrestlers have fun and try and do better with our career. And sometimes we're going to make mistakes. Sometimes stuff's not going to be the quality you want it to. But just let us get better. And again, you're allowed to voice your opinion, but just fucking enjoy it, man, for what it is. Because yeah, and
Yeah.
I
I
see
love
that.
that.
I see that in a very different way now because I was hurt for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my values and visions now with it. Whereas I assume 4 or 5 years ago would have been completely different. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the best way because well, we're sadly a part of the social element, aren't we? And
Yeah.
it can be quite a
yeah,
negative
and
place, as you say.
yeah, especially now with how big social media is and how important it is, because at the end of the day, it's free marketing, isn't it?
Yeah, of
But
course. Yeah.
people just get so caught up in it. Like I see some people's Twitter's account. I'm like, do you not have a life? Like,
Yeah.
do you go and do your big shop? Do you take your bins out, or do you just sit and fucking moan on Twitter? It's absolutely bonkers. Like I have pure people muted just because
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like, I don't want it. I want to see funny videos and football memes, not people
Yeah.
moan.
Fair.
Yeah,
Miserable bastards.
yeah, yeah. So
That's it.
my thoughts.
Fair. So obviously going back to yourself and Luke, you've mentioned obviously the chemistry you have together. But you actually, I think it was chapter 122, you had a number one contendership match against them. So I just wondered, was this match different for you versus previous encounters you've had with them?
Yeah, obviously it meant a lot more. We both we both never really spoke about main titles together
Mm.
until this happened.
Mm.
Because we always just thought, tags. And then with this happened, I was like, for fuck's sake. I just thought it was going to be nice little exhibitions forever when we wrestled each other. Now we've done the natural progression, and then there was the title match, and I was like, for fuck's sake, these bastards in this know what they're doing. They want two lads from Manchester to beat the fuck out of each other. And they got it. Uh, and yes, he beat me again, which he always does.
Mm.
But yeah, again, we're super proud of it. And again, looking back, he's got the belt now. I'm in his corner. I'm happy for him. I'm never going to be bitter for him. Like
Yeah.
people always ask me this about my injury. Like, were you bitter about Luke taking over the world? No. If I
Yeah.
would, like, it sucked missing out on things and sometimes not being there for certain things, but I've seen my best mate, my tag partner, take over. Like, I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
And I'm
Love it.
stupid not because then it'd kill
Yeah.
me and I just hate wrestling even more. Like, it's not fun. So, yeah.
Yeah. I love it. True friendship right there.
Absolutely. If it was you, me, I'd be like, fuck you.
Thanks, man.
So obviously after that match, you returned to winning ways. You got a win over Elijah. So you turned the tide pretty quickly in that one, and obviously you made him tap out with a crossface. But during that, you were staring down Crowley on the outside. What was kind of going through your head during that
Dude,
moment?
I did with his weird little monkey. He just had this habit. It's weird, isn't it? He's so fucking weird. He used to have this monkey. I don't know if he still does. And he just used to chill at ringside and it just make noises and it would catch me off. Even though, like I said before, we have no crowd to get distracted. This monkey fucking distracted me pure. Because I'd look one side, it was that, and then I look the other side, it was him grinning about what you do. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty sure at the end of that they battered me. Um, I think they both got up on me. I can't remember. But yeah, either way, weirdo, proper weirdo.
Yeah. I never really considered that, but it would be quite distracting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charles Crown, weirdo.
So obviously you mentioned before about about 6-man tag matches and how chaotic they can be. Obviously, at Chapter 125, you're part of a six-way scramble. So in a similar vein, I just wondered how you prepare for such a chaotic match like that.
I fucking hate scrambles. Everyone is just flying everywhere. You can't get your hands on anyone before you have someone else's in and trying to get the win. Yeah. Not many memories apart from G Money headbutting me out of midair. Um, I think it was me, Lycos 2, G Money, Dereiss, two more. I can't remember. LK Mezinger, he was in it. I can't remember the other person, unfortunately. Sorry, whoever it was.
Yeah, I know
Um,
it.
yeah. But yeah, it was a match that happened. I don't think I won that
Yeah.
either. I don't have the best track record, to be honest. I try my best. Um,
But
I
is
don't
with that sort of match, is there any way to prepare for it, or do you just have to sort of go in
know.
there
You just have to
and
go.
try and expect the unexpected, I guess?
You just have to go and swing, mate.
Yeah.
You just have to go. Go. You're getting it. You're getting it. Oh wait, I've been dropped on my head, and just try and get up as soon as you can.
Love it. So obviously going back to the tag team side of things, at 126, Young Guns got the win over Kings of the North, and this was your last match before obviously you suffered that injury. I know obviously you touched on kind of not resenting anything that Luke went on to do, but do you feel like before you got injured, you were kind of really about to break out yourself at that point in time?
Oh, I mean, yeah, because obviously, like elsewhere, we was doing some cool shit. We was doing some really good stuff, and like obviously, progress. I don't think had been running. I don't think they ran after tape-ins and then between me and getting hurt.
Yeah,
Um, so the timing of it was just awful. But yeah, we was picking up some good momentum, like just all over the UK, all over Europe, and obviously the
yeah,
time it was just awful.
yeah. I mean, there's no good time, is there? But
Genuinely, I genuinely don't think it could have been worse, to be honest.
yeah.
With some of the stuff we had lined up, like I assume in progress and elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely sucks. You did retain, obviously, though, finally at 172. You interfered in the main event. You cost Man Like Dereiss. What is it about Dereiss that just makes you so angry?
Fucking hate him. His head. I've always hated it. He's just. Do you know what? Right in lockdown, we used to even play Warzone together, and even then I hated him. There was something about it. He was just that guy. You thought he was sick at COD, and he was just shit. But he'd always blame everyone else. And then
One of
what?
them, yeah.
Yeah, one of them. I assume that's one of you as well. And then and then once we got back in ring, he's just because everyone loves him. I was like, do you know what? I fucking hate you. I always have. And this was my time to show it. And I think I got the time. So when I was on about my injury and the timing couldn't have been worse, I think the
Mm,
timing couldn't have been better, to be honest. So I
yeah,
fucked her.
definitely.
I'll smash his head in.
Yeah,
Love
there
it.
with the bang.
So obviously, unfortunately, boisterous behaviour picked up the win over yourself and Luke at 173 in almost a 30-minute war. And I think it's fair to say there was something special in the air that night in Manchester. Is there a way to explain it when a match just sort of clicks the way that did?
Hmm. Yeah, I'd say it clicked, but we lost in Manchester. And Luke, yeah, we weren't very happy after that. Like, yeah, the reception
Hmm.
was cool and the match was people liked the match, but this was where our minds started to turn a little bit and be like,
Yeah.
let's focus a little bit less on what the crowd want and let's get the job done, no matter how we can get it done. Because Leon is Leon, Dereiss is Dereiss. As much as I don't like them both, they're fucking unbelievable wrestlers, and they can. Well, they're obviously give us a run for our money because I've lost to them both, and it's not a
Hmm.
nice feeling. Especially you feel embarrassed when it's under your own roof, and I give it the big one, and I took my licks, I accepted it, and then obviously we all know what happened at Strong Style as well. So it just feels like they're getting closer and closer, and we're not about that. So yeah, it stresses me
Yeah.
out.
Well, you did get to face off with him at 174 and was probably one of my favorite progress matches. Obviously, ended in a double count out. You could see the hatred, I think, between you two. Intensity was off the scale. I want to ask you though, after the match, you obviously ended up attacking the red shirts. Like, do you stand by your actions?
Yeah, because
Fair.
because when we got counted out, like everyone I looked at, I just seen his head. I just seen Doris's head. So I just whoever I could get my hands on, I just twatted as hard as I could because I
Yeah.
just wanted it to be Doris. And yeah, fucking, I'll punch my laptop in a minute if you carry on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it
won.
just there's something about him that just gets under my skin. I can't
Mm,
explain it, but it just angers me. It's what 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night. I should be sitting down to fucking watch something, but I'm just here still talking about the race, and I want to start winding down, get in
yeah.
bed, chill out, read a book. But no, I'm here talking about the race. I'm a fucking blood's boiling.
Yeah, let's move on.
Um, so obviously at chapter 176 you got the win over Subculture. I just wondered, obviously you've mentioned the chemistry between you and Luke. Would you say your sort of chemistry and the cohesion was the sort of key to that win?
Yeah, we're back in business now. Obviously, been a little bit of progress and elsewhere, like we've been fucking taking over. So even from our first couple of tags back when I first returned last year, it was like when it took us a couple matches to find our feet, but
Yeah.
we just we could be away for each other for 10 years, never mind three, and it'd just be like another day at the office. Like, yeah, we wins and losses. It's always going to be the case, but the subculture one, it was just right. The last time we tagged in progress was the boisterous behaviour match. Let's fucking, and it's in Manchester again.
Yeah.
Let's show everyone because subculture are little twerps. They should have been at home with their wives on Valentine's Day, but instead they got leathered. So that's their loss.
Nice.
But yeah, again, people started to see who we are again. Don't matter whether Luke's got the belt. Like we'll take it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to bring him up
I
again.
thought you said you weren't going to do
I
it.
know, I'm sorry, but
Swear to God,
I've got to touch on Super Strong Style. Obviously,
you don't know,
it
dear.
must.
You don't. You're laughing, but you don't. We all know what happened. He fucking tapped me
Yeah,
out. It weren't fun.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. Maybe,
yeah.
maybe we can move on to the following night. We can talk
Yeah.
about.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously the next night
Yeah, where I'll
in
be Reese one again. Class, even
Yeah,
better. Makes
yeah,
me feel so much. And my head got split open. You see that fucking scar there? I don't know if you can because of the lighting. That happened that
yeah.
night as well. So I give the Reese an egg, and then this happened to me the day after. Fuck's sake! Yeah. Anyway,
Do you know what I think I possibly have an answer to this question, but obviously, like you say, you mentioned being cut open. You can see a lot of the sort of that anger building. Are you taking this anger into chapter 181 in Manchester?
I might have to. I don't. I
Yeah,
don't. know- I might have to. I don't know whether people will be happy about it, but if I see him and we cross paths, I might have to just.
Yeah.
Yeah, Summit.
Yeah. We'll leave it there. But before we ring the bell on this interview, it is time for a recurring segment that we call Quick Progression. So it's a lightning round where we have really fast answers and no hesitations. Are you ready to rock?
Oh God. Right. I've got game out of my mind. I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't hate yous,
Okay.
I hate him. So let's go.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Who is your favorite Progress opponent?
Luke,
Yeah.
Awesome. Who's your dream Progress opponent?
Brian Danielson, or the Revival, FTR.
Nice.
Very nice. If you could recommend one show on Demand Progress Plus, what would it be?
The one where Luke won the belt.
Look at that.
Nice.
Yes.
If you could recommend just one match on Demand Progress Plus, what would that be?
Walter versus Sabre.
Okay.
Or Walter
Nice.
versus Walter versus Thatcher.
Okay. Definitely Walter though. Definitely
Yeah.
Walter. And lastly, which is terrible for a lightning round, but what four wrestlers are on your Progress Mount Rushmore?
What four wrestlers?
Yeah.
Pete Dunne,
Yeah.
Ospreay,
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
Fuck. Me.
Love
Yes.
No.
Love
And the fourth one's probably someone like Haskins, to be fair.
it. Hmm.
Yeah, I'd put
Nice.
Haskins up there. There's so many, for
There
so many
is.
reasons, but
Yeah. No, it's always a
yeah,
tough one
that's,
for a
yeah,
lightning round, but it's a solid pick. Solid pick.
yeah. Because
Absolutely.
again, like those were all the boys like I looked
Yeah.
up to when I was watching wrestling and like now have decent relationships with as well. And yeah, is yeah. So
Yeah. No, love it.
Awesome.
just
Ethan, thank you so
I'll tell you
much.
what, I've had another one. Yeah, who do you hate the most? Derice. There you go. Have that.
Well,
Bonus question, bonus round. Derice. Who do you want to headbutt? Derice. Who do you want to run over
well,
at 75 miles per hour? Derice.
Love
Right,
it.
there you go.
yeah. Well, let's see what happens in Manchester. There may be an opportunity for you
Indeed.
to do that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll
best of
pull double
luck.
duty. I'm not ass. I've got the four-way, but I'll just fucking smash his head in anyway.
Love it.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, best of luck for far from ordinary people in your hometown of Manchester.
Nice one.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, man.
Cheers, boys.